Here we go messing with things again.
No, I love new technology. No, I
No,
really don't.
but we're pushing boundaries here. We're trying new things. We're trying to do other stuff and better stuff. And when that happens, there's things that you were like, oh, go click on this, and I went to go click on. I was like, oh, we went live. Oh no, I didn't want to do
Well,
that.
so we are live. Good morning, everybody. This is Lorraine.
And Jennifer.
And this morning, we're going to talk about maybe replacing us with artificial intelligence because maybe it'll work better. Um,
No, you can't replace us.
yeah, well, we could try. But anyway, last week we talked about AI and content, and I came down pretty firmly on the idea that you can do it, but you need to have that human oversight. But we're seeing a lot, both from advertising platforms and other tools, about AI and advertising. So, Jen, what do you think?
Well, advertising in AI is definitely nowhere near new. It's been going on for quite a while, and there are definitely different ways that it has been happening. Some of which I know some people have been upset about. It continues to advance, and the platforms continue to push us more and more towards automation and AI.
So, when you look at AI and advertising, what do you think is working well? What is really the pro side? What are some of the benefits?
I think the pro side, so one of the things that AI is able to do is to gather information on what it is that you as the individual might potentially be interested in based on what you have commented on, what you have liked on, what you have watched. So AI can tell if you have watched a video and what the content of that video is. AI can tell if you stop scrolling on a video and what the content is of that video. And so, what that allows is actually better targeting on the fact that I know that you're somewhat interested in the subject, so I can serve ads based on that. And I know this is where a lot of people maybe are like, oh, I don't want that, but the alternative is you start to get a lot of stuff that you're not interested in and you don't want and you dislike it. So what's the better angle here?
So, I think that it is better to a point, and there is a point where it gets carried to extremes. I
Mhm.
stopped and watched a video one time, and I watched it, and I was like, okay, that's done. But then my entire feed, and this happened on Instagram, was filled with more of the same videos. And I started, hide this ad, hide this ad, hide
Yeah,
this ad. It's
yeah,
irrelevant. It's irrelevant. And I must have had to do that 20 times from 20, it felt like 20 different companies. It was the same content, but every
yeah,
time I looked up, it was a different company that was sending it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
there needs to be a balance where the AI understands and takes into account both how many times I watch something and how
right.
many times I unsubscribed.
Yeah, so that's examples of where it's not perfect,
Mhm.
and there needs to be some oversight, and that I might go in there and pick that targeting, but that doesn't mean that everybody necessarily wanted that content. So targeting is one way that it has become better, but there's or not better, but ways. There's creating content, just like we talked about written, there is ways in these platforms that I can give them so many images, so many videos, so many headlines, and the AI will determine the combination that is going to perform the best based on who is looking at it and where they're at potentially in the buying cycle. So that's just another form of how it's being used.
And I think that kind of AI, that ability to get you through A/B testing faster, where
Mhm.
you're really driving the decision. You've got all these images, you know they're good, and
Yeah,
you've sort of vetted the images, but now what you're looking for is which one is better? Which
right.
one is going to be more effective? And that's where I think AI has a real benefit.
Yeah, and these platforms are deciding, and you are deciding as the consumer, how far an ad will go.
Mhm.
So if you spend all this time creating ad and then you put it out there and you don't get any kind of engagement, people don't stop scrolling, they don't click on it, they don't comment, like, share, anything like that. That advertiser is actually paying the absolute most amount of money for that advertisement to be out there. And so they are considering, do people engage with that? And when people do, then ads can actually go further and kind of go beyond. And then you end up paying less and less and less because they see that as a good ad. So there is some ownership on the person putting out the ad that if you're not paying attention to that, you're paying top dollar.
Absolutely. So you can save, investing in good quality content, whether it's good quality ads or good quality content that you're trying to share organically, is
Yeah.
going to pay off. It's going to have long term benefits.
Yep, yep. And another way, obviously, is the ability for these platforms to kind of process all this data and give us this information. There are, at least 25 metrics that I'm looking at on any given ad on whether or not that ad is working. And the ability for AI to be used to kind of compute that information. Prior we'd put out a billboard or a radio ad or a TV ad, and we'd be like, well, it got 10,000 impressions. And that's all you
And
knew.
and that's all you knew. And now you really have, and that's the thing I've loved with digital marketing for, as long as I've been involved in it is the measurability and the ability to really kind of go further down the sales funnel and see who's engaging, who's interested, who's qualified,
Yeah,
and then send them more of the same. And I think that's one of the things with AI that you can build in is, well, if they liked this ad,
yeah.
then we're more likely to show them these ads. And if
Along
they
that
engage
line
with that.
Yeah, along that line too is predictive analytics. So when you go to put out an ad, whether or not on Google Ads or Facebook ads, you're choosing a marketing objective. You're saying,
Mhm,
I want people to watch this video.
mhm,
I want people to actually complete a form or what have you. I got a sidebar on that one. But, it's gonna go out and it's gonna go within the audience that you chose and choose the people who are more likely to watch a video, who
mhm.
are more likely to click through to the website. And so it's not your ads are not always shown to everybody that's in that audience. You're, like, choosing, "This is what I want to do with it."
Mhm. And the more data that's out there, the better. And I think it gives small business owners an opportunity. I just think that for a lot of really small companies, the AI is nice, but I don't know if they're spending enough to really leverage
No, no.
the because you're not going to be able to take advantage of AI if you're spending $100 a month. It,
This is where you have to lower the bar in certain situations. So I'll give an example. Most of these AIs need, in order to go after conversions, they need 50 per week.
mhm,
You know, that's a lot. Okay, well, lower the bar. What if I said I want to track if people spend at least 30 seconds on my website, spend a minute.
mm,
Okay, give me more people who are like that. So you
mhm,
can kinda lower the bar in order to gain entry, into those type optimizations. Not everybody knows how to set all that up.
Yes,
People is not
it's
making it
yeah.
easier.
So the trick is really picking an appropriate goal for your budget. If you
Yeah,
have a small budget, you really need to be very high up on the funnel where anybody who's even just a little bit interested, you'll consider.
and
Um,
video views is an excellent way to do that with,
mhm,
like, Facebook ads. I can ensure, sometimes as little as a couple pennies to watch your video, and if you've got a great video, then that works. Who
mhm,
I think is really pushing the envelope here more than anybody is Google.
mhm,
They were known for years about picking keywords and search intent and things like that. And this new Performance Max is all audience based.
mhm.
So,
And I just got a notice on Google, and I have to go back and read the details, but they're looking at doing a revenue share on the shorts feed. Now, they reached out to me. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll play. And then I start reading the numbers. And, I have to have 1 million views on one of my shorts. But what that tells me is that they recognize that the shorts feed, which is totally interest driven, is where they're getting the most interest on their platform. I mean, I see it in my videos.
yeah,
I'll get 500 views on a short and 5 views on a full length video.
yeah,
Um, but they're using that data and they're willing to reward the content creators.
which is good, which is good,
They're
you know.
willing to, yeah, reward those content creators and share revenue from the ad revenue because you don't really place ads in individual shorts, but they put them in the shorts feed.
I've said it before, guys, ads is what keeps the internet live.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
They're going to be there. You're gonna have to, like, pay for models in order to not have ads. That's the only way to kinda avoid that, but free content out there, ads is what pays for that.
Hmm.
So,
And but I thought it was interesting that Google is sort of putting this in place where they've got a revenue share for content creators because Facebook isn't doing it. Instagram isn't doing it. They're not reward like
they are,
the
though, they are. So, they've got stars now,
mm,
where you can be rewarded as well, and so the model is there. It's whether or not people will recognize what stars are.
mhm,
Even Google added something like the stars feature on their Google too, but you have to already have, like, a decent following to kinda get in on that. You don't on Facebook, though. So, actually, we're live, and you might have seen where I have the stars, to
mhm.
donate, like, we're putting out free content every week, so
Yeah. Well, I think AI is going to continue to grow. I think that every day we are feeding the beast. Every day that you interact with content
yeah,
on social media, you're sending signals. So if
yeah,
you don't like what's in your feed, start interacting with different content. And
yep.
not only will that help you, it'll help the advertisers who are trying to reach you or not trying to reach you.
Press those 3
Um,
little dots in the top and say, "Don't show this to me anymore."
mhm.
Start teaching it what you wanna see, so,
And it'll help you. And then as an advertiser, encourage people. If you don't want to see this ad, let me
yep.
know.
Let them know.
Let them know.
Alright,
Well,
well, take care. Bye, guys.
see you later.